This episode is brought to you by Bellator's Publishing, bringing stories to the world that last forever. Ceres notices a rune on the back of Kingfisher's neck. His skin was pale apart from a single stark black rune visible between the base of his skull and his shirt collar. Most of the runes I'd seen on the Fae had been ugly looking things, but this... ... He looks up at Archer and the rune vanishes. And then all of a sudden, he is like, don't worry about it.
When he goes to this table, when there are two ladies, they are leaving. These two ladies call my attention because they are dressed with royal blue. So they're leaving the table and Fisher is looking at the floor. Obviously, he doesn't want any of them recognize that. And I think these maybe two women, they are gonna be maybe some important characters in the next book or later on in the story.
And then the second thing, which I thought was really cool, was the tree in the courtyard. So outside the forge, there was this like walled courtyard, and there's a tree there. It stands alone, and it's the only one in the whole place that doesn't have any leaves on. It's not evergreen. It made me think of the tree in the Garden of the Gods, in Zorath's Garden.
Hello and welcome to Faithfully Fantasy,
The husband and wife podcast talking all things Quicksilver.
I'm JC.
And I'm Sean.
And today we'll carry on with our deep dive of Quicksilver with chapters 15 to 17. And just heads up, we might use strong language and explore adult themes.
This episode will contain spoilers from Quicksilver, the Kingfisher POV chapters on Callie Hart's website, and snippets of information we've had from Callie Hart herself.
And before we start, quick reminder, if you want early access to our episodes, bonus content every month, and no annoying ads like this one, you can have all this by becoming a supporter. You can try it for free now and cancel anytime. For the best deal, visit faithfullyfantasy.com or simply subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts for instant access. Don't miss out and become part of our community.
Also, if you're enjoying the show, please take a second to rate us wherever you're listening. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all of it. It helps more fantasy lovers find us, and it's one of the easiest ways to support what we do. A quick tap and you've made our day.
And now, without further ado, let's enter the map 10.
So, if you remember, Fisher, Ceres and Carrion are on horseback, and they are getting the 5 hells out of the Winter Palace. Ceres is done with Fisher's smugness. Onyx is jumpy, and the shades in the forest are setting the background ambience. Fisher shrugs it off as just vibes, but it is creepy. They stop at a pub en route, and Wren pops in to drop the lore bomb that Solace was actually Fisher's dad's sword, and oh, by the way, Fisher is kind of a legend known as the Dragon's Bane, the Fisher King. Fisher is mortified, while the entire tavern raises toasts like he's the celebrity guest of honour. The party leaves via one of Fisher's shadow gates, a dark swirling portal that Ceres does not want to ride, but her shiny new oath to Fisher makes her body obey, whether she likes it or not. Our walking green flag Renfus is fuming about the lack of consent. Carrion wakes up, hooray, confirms Hayden is alive, hooray, and immediately starts roasting her about kissing Fisher. So there at Carlish, instead of a bloody battlefield, it's an idyllic manor, complete with fire sprites crying tears of joy over Fisher's return. Ceres is unimpressed. They argue again. Fisher insists protecting Avelia is his birthright. Ceres claps back that saving her family is the morally right thing. But then comes the kicker. Fisher opens a shiny magical forge and reveals 15,000 rings waiting for her to transmute, whatever that means.
Yes, we have a couple of things, and this chapter we start to see the world start to go
Expand.
deeper.
Yeah.
Yes, so we're going to explore a little bit more, going into the fine print, the part of the show where we scour the pages for clues of what is to come. Chapter 15.
Sarush.
Something that it caught my attention in this one is the Sarush is like a celebration, a cheers in this book, but it sounds very similar to the word in Spanish, salud. There's the word that we use when we are celebrating or we cheers or
Yeah,
something.
say cheers.
Yes, so we say salud. So in this book they say sarush. That's kind of like maybe how in Spanish there's drunk.
Yeah.
Sounds like sarush. So
Maybe.
I still think in the Calihard is using some Spanish. I don't know if it's
Just a bit of influence.
influence.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
So I didn't immediately have a lot to say about this chapter title, and I always have something to say about the chapter titles. Until I did a bit of Googling. I like to see if these names that are like essentially made up have any kind of links to mythology or folklore or anything. Sirush is a dragon or a serpent in Mesopotamian myth, which is, I carried on reading, and this dragon serpent is seen on the Ishtar Gate.
Yes.
And I just liked the link because obviously there's the dragon, there's the gate, the Arjun Gate, and it links back kind of to what Fisher is so revered for in this scene.
Yes.
So I thought that was quite an interesting link.
Yes.
Probably totally unconnected, but
But you never know, because an author always look for inspiration a little bit for everywhere, and they start to make one piece or everything. So there might be something there as well.
yeah.
Okay, let's going to start with this chapter, and we start as leaving the Winter Palace, and we're going through the Wicked Wood. There's a really interesting place. A place that is covered or is full of shades. That's how Kingfisher calls them. And this shade, basically for us, they are ghosts. He said that when somebody dies in a really horrible way, the spirit is going to say it stays there and it still living that moment constantly for eternity. And we say as well the normally is when something really horrible happens, they stay there. But at the same time, something that caught my attention, he said that is like a prison for the most heinous crimes. The people that maybe they had a really horrible crimes, when they got killed, they got sent there somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I thought this was really cool and creepy. So Onyx gets really stressed when they're about to enter the forest.
Yes.
And I wondered if there's a connection between Onyx and the Shades, or at least the people that were the Shades when they were alive. They did something heinous to the spirit that is linked to Onyx or to Onyx.
Yes.
And there's a kind of, I don't know, a weird say, although Onyx does seem to get stressed at multiple points.
Yes, but the last week we were talking about maybe the possibility that Onyx could be Fisher's mom. Maybe if the spirit was maybe in this forest or something, and they managed to escape going inside a little white fox or something, maybe going back to that place is what they make it stressful.
But he says only those guilty of the most heinous crimes. So of that you would think that Kingfisher's mum would do something so heinous, and I just can't see that.
It's strange because he said first that when somebody gets killed in a really horrible way, then the spirit it gets stuck there, living that moment. But then he says later on that people committing crimes had been sent there. So I don't know if it's maybe to kind of...
No, so I see it as some kind of capital punishment type thing. So somebody who commits a heinous crime gets killed, capital punishment.
In a horrible way,
and
apparently.
then their souls are trapped in this wood. The souls are sent to the wood. I don't know what kind of magic that is, but it's super creepy.
Yeah.
But I would say then and the wicker wood, the word wicker makes me think of the Wicker Man, that really strange film.
Yeah.
And that makes me think of burning. So possibly like, because they burn a giant effigy, don't they?
Yeah.
It makes me think of that maybe. And then I wondered also, so I had a bit of a thought, because we know that Malcolm committed some pretty heinous crimes. I wonder if his soul, or he could be sent to the Wicker Wood.
Yeah.
And in that way, you might encounter him again.
Mm. Yeah, it would be really interesting to see that, because lots of times it seems that maybe vampires don't have like a soul. So that's like one of the reasons why they don't reflect themselves in a mirror. And it would be interesting to see if he was a fae first, turn into a vampire. When he dies, he will go there.
But does Fisher say that it's souls, or it's just kind of an imprint of their life that's like trapped there?
I understood like spirits. And even he's saying that, they have no body, they have nothing like physical to hurt you, and they don't even know they are there, like the life form, like Fisher and Ceres. So I'm guessing that soul was spirit.
Yeah, it's also like Dante's Inferno, isn't it? Where they have souls in the Divine Comedy, of souls trapped in the trees. That the souls are trapped and they have committed suicide. It's for people that have committed suicide and they get trapped in these trees, and it's an awful forest. I think it'd be quite good to think about where we might go there again. So I expect that that will not be the last time we are in the Wicker Wood. There's some really creepy things that happen in this book. And I just have a feeling it's going to get creepier and creepier now that Ceres is a vampire.
Yes.
And I think we'll go back, and possibly Bellicon could end up trapped there when he meets his end. I just feel like one of them is going to end up there, or Madra.
Or the three of them.
Of all of them, though, like Bellicon is the most heinous. We find out that he's not actually got any claim to the throne that he's sitting on, and we find, and obviously what he did to Kingfisher's mum, all of that stuff. I do feel like he's going to end up there. My money is on Bellicon.
The problem is that I don't know if a Bellicon is doing all the stuff by himself, and that he's asking help to Malcolm, or Malcolm from the beginning is using Bellicon to give him power, like turn into a king.
Yeah, maybe it was the whole their idea, their plan.
Yeah.
I do feel like, I said this last week, I feel like Madra was in on the plan, and they were never annoyed with her for closing the gate. They wanted her to close the gate to stop the Dianthus heir getting back. Why they didn't just kill the Dianthus heir? Maybe they couldn't. Maybe there was some kind of magic where they couldn't do it.
So the best thing to do is maybe keep her alive and keep her maybe in like kind of like a prison.
Sylvarin prison.
Yeah, so at the end of all of this, they finally arrive to something that Sarah described as like a little pub. And right from the beginning, we start to see other magical creatures. And for me, this was really interesting because this is the first book that I'm reading about Fae. So I don't know what to expect. I was thinking that, yes, I will see just these people with the pointy ears and that's it. But then I start to see there's so many magical creatures that I know from other stories or legends or other stuff, and they're all here together. So I don't know when we're talking about Fae, if that is like mandatory that all these creatures they're gonna be there.
So normally I've read a lot of Fae stories. Normally you have high Fae, like highborn Fae, and you know that Everlane does mention that term, and they are like human like Fae, but they're bigger and they're stronger. Certain appendages of their body are always bigger than human ones. We learnt last week that they have extra organs as well, which
Yeah.
we're yet to find out what they are. But they're the highborn fae, the high fae. And then you have lesser fae. And they're like, I say fairies, but it's spelt fairies. And I don't know if we're supposed to say fairies and that it's just changed over hundreds and hundreds of years of folklore and they've all become fairies. But some of them have wings, some of them are tiny. The one that bites Ceres in the pub is tiny.
Yeah, it's something like maybe like think about for Peter Pan, something like that. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Then you have the stable hand who has ram's horns. He is kind of like, I would say, Mr. Tumnus from Narnia. He is a satyr, I think he's described as in this book, because Kingfisher does explain to Ceres while they're waiting 2 hours for, or I don't know, 2 hours or more for Renfus. And that's from Greek mythology. Then you have tall, reedy, thin-limbed beings with bark-like skin. That made me think of Groot.
Good.
Yeah, but like the big ones.
Yeah.
But they have wisps of thin, flowing white hair. Then there's small, hairless things with charcoal-coloured skin and slitted amber eyes. I don't know if that is a type of fire sprite, because that does sound like the charcoal skin does seem a bit like the fire sprites. And then there's 2 males with shaggy furred legs and cloven feet and horns. Tiny fairies. There's loads. She says something about goblins being there, and she says selkies. And selkies, after a bit of research, are seal shapeshifters. So from like Scottish, Irish, Gaelic mythology.
Yeah.
It's a shapeshifter that turns into a seal. I love this as well because and I keep coming back to this, but when we saw Kelly Hart in Nottingham, she said, pay attention to the different factions of people because they'll be coming back.
So at this point, Ceres is really concerned because she doesn't know what's going on. She thinks for a moment that maybe they're going to spend the night there. Fisher said that no, they're going to Kalish, but he is really reserved with her about details. He's giving information, but not giving any descriptions or anything like that. They're going inside, they start to having a drinks, they're going to find a table, and then they're lucky, they're going to find a table that I think is like in a corner of the place. And Fisher, he goes inside and he has like the hood covering the head. Doesn't want that anybody recognize him. When he goes to this table, when there are 2 ladies, they are leaving. These 2 ladies call my attention because they are dressed with royal blue. They say they're coming from far away because they're coming with winter clothes and stuff. They are standing up, so they're leaving the table, and Fisher is looking at the floor. Obviously, he doesn't want any of them recognize them. And I think these maybe 2 women, they are gonna be maybe some important characters in the next book or later on in the story. I think they had a story with Kingfisher. That maybe Kingfisher saw them, but obviously right now he is going incognito here. But I don't know. It's something about the description of them that doesn't fit in this place.
Yeah, I thought it was funny because I was thinking they're both dressed the same. It's got to be a uniform, hasn't it? Because I mean, the alternative is that they both turned up and they were like, "Shit, we're wearing the same dress." But I'm pretty sure that it must be some kind of uniform or some kind of clan. Maybe they're witches.
I think they were fae. Not sure, but
Did she definitely say they were fae?
I think she said 2 females, but
yeah, but they could be witches because the way that the witches are described are clans.
Yeah.
And clans in Scotland have different tartans, they have different dress, but they wear the same ones.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like it might be a uniform or cultural dress. I think it's pretty cool that you notice this bit because I wouldn't necessarily have picked this out, and I'm I know the devil's in the detail, but those two, yeah, I thought they were interesting. Because at first, you would just, on first read, or like if you're me on all the reads, you would think they were just getting up to get out of the way. It's a really busy pub. There's no tables. You have to wait for somebody to leave. And he doesn't want anyone to recognize him. So he's looking at the floor and you might not notice them. But I agree with you. It feels like there's some kind of importance there. We'll see. Maybe they come back in Brimstone. Maybe they were spies. Maybe they were watching him. Don't know.
Yeah, or maybe some kind of alliance they had before or something. But I think, or had a feeling, there's some story here that it's not just something random happened in this pub. There's something that it will come back later.
Yeah.
So here in this pub, Fisher and Sarah, they had to wait for at least 2 hours. Sarah is trying to get some conversation with Fisher, trying to get some information that why they're going to college. He says that college is the place where Belicon can go there, because his father, he did something there like awards, and Belicon or any of their supporters can go there.
Yeah. So he says, as long as I live and carry on my father's line, he will never be able to enter that place. So it's some kind of blood ward, isn't it? Like a blood magic. But what is interesting to me is he still wears his silver gorget later. Yeah. So I think we should come back to this line, because he doesn't feel 100% safe there, because he's not wearing his armor, but he's still keeping his collar on. But the fact that he says, as long as I live and carry on my father's line, I think this is foreshadowing for the fact that he will carry on his father's line, and that Ceres and Kingfisher will have a baby. And you might think, hang on, Ceres has been sterilized at birth, or as a child, sorry. Madra made it so that only 1 in 10, I think it was, 1 in 10 girls are able to reproduce in the third. And Ceres is not one of them. And the fact that Kingfisher gets really angry about that later, and he's like visibly upset by it, and he berates Madra for it at the end, it feels like there's going to be some kind of, it's not the end for that. This just feels like a tick in that they're going to have a child box.
Yeah. Fisher said the Fae, they have more organs. Maybe female have more, I don't know, like reproductive systems. At least have
I wonder if it gets corrected when she turns Fae.
Yeah. Because for them, it's really hard to get pregnant. So maybe they have more stuff to make sure that at least they get pregnant, if as possible, once in their life.
But then you'd think if they had more stuff to get pregnant, it would be more likely.
No, but that's what I mean, because it's so hard. They had to do it like really easy for the Fae race, and because Ceres is not 100% Fae, so she might have some of that.
Or it might have just been corrected when she became Fae vampire.
Like regenerated.
But I just feel like that's definitely foreshadowing.
I was thinking when Fisher was saying these lines about his father and this line, is it maybe possible that then if he dies, this word automatically will disappear? Because in the way that he say is that he is the only one who can maybe give access to Belicon to pass this word, and obviously he's not going to do it. But if something happened to him, if a Belicon managed to kill him, that means that now Belicon will have access to everything that's there in the college as well. And that's why he ordered to his mom to bring all the assets, because he can't go there. So the mom took some of the stuff. There's still way more there. And probably that was one of the reasons when Belicon tried to send Fisher into the Quicksilver without relic, trying to kill him.
Yeah, but he couldn't have done, could he? Because the Quicksilver was closed at that point. We got so confused by that.
He went through. It is when Renfield says that Belicon forced him to go through the Quicksilver without a relic. So that happened.
I know. It doesn't. How did it happen though?
Unless that maybe it happens way before, but it seems that when Bellicon wasn't the king, the father, Kingfisher's father, was there, so there was no relationship
Yeah.
between them. It's only where Kingfisher goes to the Winter Palace with the Mount, because the Mount is going to marry Bellicon.
But after that point, the Quicksilver should already
Should
be
be,
closed.
yes, but we still don't know how.
I don't
or
think it
what
was
with
Bellicon
reason.
that forced him through the Quicksilver anyway. It was the gods when he was 6, wasn't it? We find that out at the end.
No, in these chapters, Renfrew said that.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what actually happened.
Yeah.
I think you find out at the end what actually happened, where he was pulled to that garden, the god's garden.
Yeah. I think that was when he was like 6 or something like that. Yeah.
And I think and that was definitely when they were open, because it was 11 it was 10 when the portals closed. But I think there's definitely a link between Carlish and the Garden of the Gods.
Yeah. Ramphus appears in this place, and when he sees Saris, he gets happy, he smiles, and even more when he sees Fisher. Fisher stands out, Ruffin giving a big hug, and Ramphus is something that's really funny for me in this moment, because it's like a really emotive moment when they like just giving a hug, like friend they been a long time not seeing. But then the first time they Ramphus say like, "You are fucked, my friend."
Yeah. You are so fucked. I don't know whether that's because Bellicon's pissed, but he says that Evelyn is really pissed.
Yes.
I can imagine as well. She'd be just so squeaky with her.
Yes.
I think they've met here before. So Kingfisher said they have a meeting point for when like the shit hits the fan. And it must have happened so many times that Ren and Kingfisher have to meet in this bar. And Ren comes there thinking, is he going to be here? I don't know. Like God only knows where this man has gone. And he sees him and it's like relief, because that's the first place he would think to check, and he's not going to have to traipse around Avelia trying to find Kingfisher.
Yes. But Bellicon is really pissed because he took Nimeral and obviously the alchemist.
Yeah, he also he wasn't pissed that he took Nimeral. He was pissed that he took Solus.
Oh yeah, Solus as well. Yeah.
And he was like, well, it was my dad's. No, he didn't say that. Ren says, you took it because it was your dad's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they go to leave and they get spotted. And it's like, everybody knows who they are. Everyone's got a story about the Lupercalia. And they're not just celebrities, they're like war heroes.
Yes.
And Ceres cannot believe it. She's like, to me, Kingfisher was a surly, foul-mouthed bastard who I wouldn't piss on even if he was on fire. To everyone inside this tavern, he was a living fucking god.
Yes.
So my question to you, is Kingfisher a living fucking god? You know how obsessed I am with Styx, with the god of shadows. That was my first thought. I was like, ooh, is there some link there? Is that why he's flipping? Because he flips off the gods again at Carlish.
Yeah.
Is he like just flipping off all the others? But then you find out he's Zorith's champion. So I think at the end it's confirmed that he's not a god. But there's just something about the tree at Carlish for me. And the fact that she says to everyone inside this tavern, he's a living fucking god. I don't think he is, but he totally could be.
He's definitely a god champion, so that's one thing. I don't know if I may be, when you're a god champion, in some point you might have, I don't know, like godhood by the end.
Godhood.
Yeah.
Like god status.
Yeah. Like something like Hercules and Zeus.
Yeah.
Hercules had to go from certain task to go back to the Olympus. So maybe something like this.
Yeah, or maybe they're like, these gods are picking champions to replace them.
They're just playing their board, and then it's like playing chess board with humans.
Yeah.
Face.
But maybe they will become gods. Yeah. I don't think he is a god. I just thought it was a really interesting line to break down. This chapter, again, is so funny. A couple of things that really made me laugh out loud in this chapter. So the image of Carrion with his head lolling over the horse and it just like bonking on the flank of the horse. And Ceres being fuming at him the whole time. He's not even conscious and she's just really pissed off with him for being there and for like lying to say that he was Hayden. And then when they get to the image of him like being thrown in the stable, but there's a bit when they just arrive when he tries to buy Onyx, which is another interesting point because the stable hand says, interesting, I've never seen one, or I haven't seen one with black tipped ears for centuries or for years and years, which means there's some kind of link to the past there for Onyx, which I can't quite get. But it just means that they're either extinct or incredibly rare. But anyway, Ceres says it's not for sale. Kingfisher says, unfortunately, the fox is not for sale. She thinks it's his pet. She thinks it's her pet. And he's like, how much for that one then? And Fisher's like, how much you're offering? And so Fisher wants to sell Carrion. It's really funny.
Yeah, it's true.
Onyx is tipped ears. Do you have any theories about that?
He says the ears and the tail as well.
Yeah.
So,
Like Pikachu.
yeah. It seems that it's something that used to be there before, but it was because maybe there was magic to transform somebody in that kind of animal, and that magic disappeared a long time ago, and this is maybe the remains.
Yeah, or it's the same fox. Like the fox has been around for years and years, and it's gone away, and it's not a baby fox.
It's coming
It's
back.
like a phoenix where it keeps getting reborn.
Yeah, an immortal fox.
Mm.
Yeah, interesting.
Memoirs of Luzbel. She loved him. She lost him. And he came back. But wasn't completely him. She feared him. She fought him. But she fell for him. Memoirs of Luzbel. Now available on Amazon.
Okay. Let's go now to chapter 16, Shadow Gate.
So the title is pretty straightforward here, I think. There is a gate made of shadow. And it's like another portal. There's lots of different portals in this book because you've got the Quicksilver portal, you've got the Shadowgate portal, you've got Renfus's portal that he can do.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways of traveling around.
Yes.
And if that fails, they've got horses.
True. But I think even Fisher in like short distance, he can just disappear from one place to another one really quick. So he can just go there, maybe go like longer, like jumping.
Yeah.
Go really fast.
Yeah, that's like winnowing in Akatar, where you just like can do lots of short distances.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't think there's a double meaning here. I think it is literally the shadow gate. Although the shadow and the like darkness and the link to the fact that he forces her to go through is a little bit dark.
But they go out of the pub. Sarah says the outside is a gateway to hell and it's awaiting.
Yeah, that's foreshadowing because there literally is a gateway to hell in the ceiling later in the book when I think when Fisher creates the shadow gate to return Evelyn to Carlish and they climb in and they end up in the fifth circle of hell.
But the funny part is that Fisher said this is the best way to go to Carlish, otherwise we had to go 2 months and the horse going through the mountains. And Cyrus prefers go into the horse and she hates the horses. And she said, no, I will get used to it. They are anxious to it.
Yeah, but it would be terrifying. It's like a black hole. She even talks about it like a singularity. Like it is a black hole.
Yes.
And she nearly passes out when she sees her foot going into it. It would be terrifying. I think I'd probably rather take the horse. If you imagine this giant swirling vortex in front of you and you just have to walk. Yeah, you just have to walk through it. That would be terrifying. I think that was written really well.
I don't know. I find that maybe I will be feeling like embarrassed trying to like, oh no, this is magic. I'm not going there when they see this just like the most regular thing. So it's like maybe somebody that's going to the, I don't know, take an airplane for the first time and no, how is possible? This is so heavy, can fly. It's not possible. And
Yeah, but
you're
then
being like this.
there is that fear. I would maybe just be like, okay, I'm going to close my eyes, just pull me through.
I'd rather just be dizzy for 5-10 minutes, even being sick, than spend, I don't know, 2 months in a travel.
But she was like, it's fine, I've hunted for food before.
Yeah.
And the cloak's quite warm, she says.
I will take a like no brainer if like I don't know, like a family trip with the children, like having that instead to spend, I don't know, 10 hours in the car or something
Especially
like
with
that.
our electric car, we have to stop and charge it halfway through. You don't have to plug in a shadow gate for some extra charge
Yeah.
on the road. Yeah, but she doesn't want to take it.
No, she refused, and then Fisher, he has enough, and then said, "No, you had this all with me, so now you're going to do whatever I told you to do." And Ramfus is looking Fisher like, "Oh, tell me that I heard that wrong.
Yeah,
It's not possible that you did that to her."
this is bad, isn't it? Like this was the point where I just could not find it in myself to believe Fisher was a good person. Because consent is so important, and forcing somebody to do something is really dark. Like really, really dark. Even if it's so like we talked about this last week as well, that I think this is going to come back at some point, and he says he promised Ren that he wouldn't do it again, but I get vibes that he's going to make her go away somewhere to say, or he's going to go away himself and force her not to come looking for him.
But and then the chapter he says that he will get rid of that oath once she finished with the 15,000 relics.
Yeah, well, they have to because they've made the oath.
Yes.
But she's just an idiot at this point. Like, as soon as I read the oath that she made him, I was like, well, that's shit. Anyway, we'll get to that bit. But she just, I mean, I don't mean it's a really good storyline. It's a really good plot. It's just that she's a bit of a moron for not realizing what she was signing up for.
Yeah.
But so Callie Hart has confirmed that it's a Ceres and a Kingfisher book, and it's about 50-50. So 50% Kingfisher POV, 50% Ceres POV. And while it could be that they're in different parts of Sanasroth, so she could be in the bedroom while he could be like out somewhere. I just really hope, I'm like blissfully hoping that this doesn't mean that he goes away, forces her not to follow him, and then the POVs are needed because you need two storylines in two different places.
Yeah.
Is he going to get captured? Is she going to have to go and rescue him? Maybe.
I don't know how bad it's going to be because doesn't mean that we're going to end with 2 cliffhangers.
Oh, that would be good. That would be really good.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, it's just the wait, isn't it, for the next one?
Anyway, they're going through the shadow gate, and yes, Cyrus had the description that she's kind of like disintegrate inside this black hole, and then she spotted everything until she feels that she is falling and she hit the floor and she is dizzy.
She just stays there, doesn't she?
Yeah,
like her head against
she can't
the
even
cold
move
floor.
and being sick, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." But
Good
she can't
job she
move.
didn't eat much of the stew.
Yes.
She wasn't hungry. It's a good job.
Yeah.
It all ended up on the floor. Poor Archer having to clean it up.
Yeah, she got sick twice. And Fisher, he just left her there with Ramfus. Ramfus was like saying like, "Oh, I'm sorry, he is not like this. There's just the Quicksilver that is for him is really bad because he's constantly fighting against these voices and blah blah blah."
Is it the Quicksilver or is it the rune on his neck?
Yes, we're going to that part as well.
He is weird here. Like, he's totally red flag. This is red flag Kingfisher at its peak. Obviously, we know that he's coming back, and green flag Kingfisher will get a glimpse of that.
Yeah.
But I just feel like this is a little bit unforgivable, forcing her through the gate in the first place and then just leaving her on the floor. That doesn't
It's not his
seem...
problem.
Yeah, but that doesn't seem like someone who has a bond to this person. I know that later he says he was trying to make her hate him because he didn't want her to die, and in the like somebody always dies in a God's bonded partnership, and he was just trying to push her away so that she didn't fall into the trap. I know he tries to justify that, but this is a little bit, this is bad. Yeah. Kingfisher is not coming out of this smelling of roses.
No, she even said there to Ramford, you don't have to apologize because he's just a bastard.
Yeah, and he is.
Yes. But she can't even stand up. She is just so dizzy that Ramford has to grab her. And that is the last thing that she remembered, because then, I don't know if it's next day, presumably it is, and she awakes because Carrion is awake and the fox is just protecting her.
Yes.
There's something curious how this little fox starts to be so protective, and I don't know if doesn't recognize Carrion. I mean, if this fox is a fae and is related to all of this, if I maybe knew Carrion when he was little or
yeah, but
something.
nobody does.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers him.
Yeah, maybe
or nobody knows him because he was like so little.
Yeah.
But nobody can smell him as well, which is weird because I would have thought that you would have been able to smell fae blood. It's different. But Kingfisher definitely doesn't notice.
It has to be like the full glamour for not just for humans, for fae as well.
Yeah.
So make sure that nobody can recognize him.
Yeah. So Carrion saved Hayden. He put him into the 7th ward. So now we know that there's 7 wards because that's the highest number that we've come across.
Yes.
Got him a job, got him 3 rations of water a day, a place to live. Like, Hayden's living his best life. Why did he do this? So I came up with 2 reasons why he would have done this. One, he does really care for Ceres. I don't think we have a love triangle here. I think we will continue to get Carrion and Kingfisher, like Carrion joking, Kingfisher getting pissed off. We did get a snippet from Callie Hart today of the audiobook on her Instagram. So if you haven't seen that, you can scroll through her Instagram. And it alludes to the fact that Carrion and Kingfisher will be alone somewhere.
Yeah.
For a while, which will be interesting because of their dynamic. But I don't think we have a real love triangle there. I think, if anything, it's Carrion just winding Kingfisher up. I think he knows a bond when he sees one. But he also doesn't really like Kingfisher, so he'll keep like cranking the dial. If anything, the bigger risk for a love triangle is Taladeus, isn't it? With the
because basically it's like Ceres belongs to him somehow, or they had this link.
Yeah, I think that I don't know that will play out too much though. It's not on my number 1 set of theories. I think the fact that she's fae and she's bonded will stop that.
In Taladeus seems that he has a really good relationship with Fisher.
Yeah. A complicated one, but a good one. So anyway, that was one reason, and I'm not sure it's that. The other reason is if this points to the fact that Hayden is more important than we realize. So at the end, we know that Zorith refers to Ceres as sister to Hayden. Random. Like, if Hayden wasn't important, why on earth would the god be saying sister to Hayden? He's a deadweight. I've been calling him Hey Deadweight. He is useless. He has all the markings of somebody that you're going to underestimate. So the reader is underestimating Hayden at this point. He is probably now making it his mission to train. He's doing a Lorith, isn't he? He's like beefing up.
Yeah.
He's gonna go. He keeps talking about rescuing Ceres from the palace because he doesn't know that she's not there anymore. And I just think Hayden is more important than we realize. Carrion knows it. Carrion is protecting him. Carrion punched him in the face at Carla's, the House of Carla. Yeah.
Yeah.
But was he doing that because he was trying to get him away from something? Was he trying to get him kicked out so that he wouldn't? I don't know. I feel like he was doing that to look after him in a really roundabout way. Hayden's more important than we realize.
Yeah. For me, the thing that caught my attention about all of this was the Carrion was the one who he said that he got a papers to be in this and the seventh. They give him basically a job and like change his life. And I was thinking, how on earth he managed to do all of this? Because I started thinking that maybe because he's a fake, he's been hundreds of years living from one place to another one, he managed to maybe build like a dynasty of family wealth or something. So he's coming back from time to time. And I think maybe in the seven, he is like pretending that he's part of the family really important or had like a lot
he
of
is
power.
because he's got that's what we
he
said.
literally is. Well, maybe he's saying that he is the son of his father, but it's actually himself, like next generation. And
That's what we said last week.
Roles.
Has a different job in each. Yeah, has a different life and a different persona in each.
Yeah, it has to be because, and the way that he did, that basically he took it and straight away, new job, new life.
He's got a warehouse in the second. We're starting to see that he's got influence beyond the third. Interesting that he spends so much time in the third. It's probably because his family is there, or his quote unquote family.
Yeah.
But actually, you wouldn't you? If you had been around for over 1,000 years, I mean, you would learn how to live and you would have different lives. Yeah. He didn't have to, even with that though, he didn't have to say to Kingfisher that he was Hayden. He thought he was saving him. Or he recognized Kingfisher as, although he does say later he genuinely thought that he was protecting Hayden. And we don't yet know if Carrion Swift can lie or not. We don't know if he did the Fae oath. So that'll be interesting to find out. But it could have been that he just knew that Kingfisher was a Fae and that he was going to get him out of there. And he knew deep down that he needed to be with the Fae, so he just lied to get there. I don't know. But Hayden is more important than we know, and Carrion has secret lives. Another thing that they talk about is that Ceres can't quite believe it. She's like, but Madra was definitely going to kill everybody in the third. And Carrion's like, what are you on about? Madra's got a gift for everyone. She set up a giant stage with flowers all over it. And Ceres thinks it's just a new set of gallows. But he was like, no, there's flowers all over it. What is this? What is that for? I think it is probably quite a sinister thing.
Yeah.
I think she's setting it up to make it look good, but actually it's her, like, is it that she's planning on welcoming Bellicon and Malcolm to her own kingdom? Because I see this stage with the flowers and 3 chairs, and I don't know, is it a welcoming?
Something the Fisher said to Cyrus at the beginning is that he was sure that Hayden will be alive because Madra had better subjects to carry on. One of them is that she needs to recruit for more people. So maybe she is giving something to the people, so the people is happy with her or something. And then when they fill in with this energy that, our queen is so generous, then it's when she starts to ask for people's favor.
But she doesn't need an army because she's in with the bad guys.
Well, Fisher is still thinking about it. So maybe at that point, Malcolm or Bellicon wasn't in contact with her. And then she was maybe thinking like
I'm gonna have to get them on my
she's gonna
side.
be like
I'm trying to
gonna
make
hit the
this
fan.
place look good so that the people want to protect it. Because otherwise, like, who'd want to protect this shithole? Nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It feels like it gives me Umbridge vibes, where it's something that looks pretty and all dolled up, but actually it's something quite sinister.
Yeah.
So Kingfisher turns up again after Carrion's giving Ceres the "I can't believe you kissed him," and that was the only thing that he got. Kingfisher turns up again, and like I said before, so he's not wearing any armor, which makes you feel like he's comfortable here. He feels safe, but he is still wearing his silver gorget, the silver plate that protects his throat.
Yes.
Who does he not trust, apart from maybe Carrion? But he wouldn't know that he wouldn't suspect that Carrion was fae or vampire. So who doesn't he trust?
Maybe it's not the people who is inside his house, more maybe the people who can arrive uninvited, because
But they can't get in. Any of Bellicon's supporters, and you would think that anyone who supported Malcolm would support Bellicon because they're in it together. And it feels like the Sanas Rothians know that. It feels like it's only Avelia that doesn't know that. And yeah, so they physically couldn't get through the wards that his dad set up. But he doesn't trust somebody, does he?
Yeah, but the Fiddles, they managed to go
Oh
through,
yeah,
isn't
they
it?
managed to get through.
Yeah.
You're right.
So
Yeah, it must be that.
I think maybe by the time when the father made these words, it was generally just thinking Belicon and everyone that's below him. But Malcolm might be sideways or above Belicon.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So for me, that could be the reason that he's constantly with his Gojek, because maybe he's thinking that anytime Malcolm is going to appear.
Yeah. So Kingfisher wants to take her to the forge to start making the relics. He is not going to force her to do it because Ren has given him a talking to about consent. Thank you, Ren. And she makes another oath. It's in her own words as well. She totally sets herself up for this. She is like, I will let them go home. Repeat after me. I will let them go home when they've made enough relics for my people. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it, at that point, that what is enough? She is so shit at making oaths. Enough relics for your people.
Yes.
How many people has he got? He's a lord, for God's sake. Obviously, he's got a lot of people.
I mean, even if you're thinking about, I don't know, something completely like under the number, like 1,000 or 2,000, that's still a lot for her that she can't even make.
You don't even know how to do it.
So what she was thinking is,
It's like me committing to wallpaper all the people you know's houses.
yes, well, you don't know.
I don't know how to do it. No, I give it a go, but I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
How many people do you know?
True.
It could take years.
Yeah. The other funny part that happens here is when after Fisher said that, okay, you're happy with this because your own words, he even is smiling because like, oh, poor little thing, doesn't know what she's doing here. And then like, shit,
But he
I'm
still
happy
does
with
it
that.
anyway.
Yeah.
He's like the epitome of morally grey at this point. But he's not morally grey. He's morally good. It's this fucking rune on his neck.
But when she's happy with that, then he said, okay, now follow me. And Carrion is like, and what's going to happen with me? Are you just going to let me here locker all the time? And we're like, you're not being here locker. You can just go do whatever. I don't care about you. And Sarah like, what? You didn't even check the door? I'm just assuming they will be looking.
Locked in. What's he going to do? He can just wander around the house.
Yeah. Well, at least like open the door and see where they are, because they were in a room with no windows. So
Yeah.
It's looking maybe like a really nice cell.
But with 4 beds
Yeah,
as well, what kind of a room needs 4 beds?
yeah.
It's like the orgy room.
It's the guest room for the family. Something.
Oh, sorry, I went in a completely different direction to you. Oh my God, that's so funny. Like a hotel, but yeah, it was probably that. Sorry, everyone.
I'm so naive.
No, I'm just in the gutter.
Okay.
The other thing that Carrion says is that Elroy is going to the palace gates every day in an attempt to, like, he demands to see Ceres. They say no, they send him away. And then he goes straight back to the forge and gets to work, is what Carrion says. And I think this means that Elroy is now making weapons again.
Yeah.
I think he's like, oh, I've got to save Ceres.
Going back to the revolution.
Yeah. And he's starting to make his weapons, not his glass bells.
Yes. Okay, so let's move on now to chapter 17, Kalish.
Kalish. So again, not much to say here apart from they're in Kalish.
Yeah, there's no second meanings in this one, isn't it? It's just straightforward. They are there. That's the name of the chapter.
Yeah, I've been like searching for anagrams in Kalish. Couldn't find anything. Sorry, failed. I'm sure there's something.
Oh, well, it can't be every single one, isn't it?
No, maybe this is just it's like, that's it.
Yeah.
We're here. So that's the name of the chapter.
Fisher takes Cyrus away from the room, and this is the first time where Cyrus starts to look at what is outside, because so far she's been in a room with no
She's got out of the
windows.
family room.
Yes. So she is impressed with the place because it's a really big house, really beautiful, and the way that she described it. Then there's a part when Fisher said that this place was built by my great grandfather. And the thing that caught my attention here is that he says in a brusque tone, there's something that maybe there's like a feeling here, something in the background of these lines. So I don't know if there's something going on with the Fisher family. I don't know, something that happened long time ago. You know, sometimes they talk about stuff that happened in the past. There's maybe the shame of the present. So I don't know if the great-great-grandfather of Fisher did something to build this massive house, and he's just saying it that way.
It could be. I didn't spot this, so well done for spotting it. I'm just thinking about it now, though. It could be that he's ashamed of the wealth because he is like deep down, not even deep down, like under this fake facade that he's putting on.
Mm-hmm.
He cares about his people, and he goes into a tent just like any other war camp. He's just in any old tent.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's embarrassed about the amount of wealth that his grandfather showed against his people? Because obviously he's got this big stately home.
Yeah.
Fisher isn't the type of person that's going to want to live in a big stately home, is he?
Yeah.
He'd rather live in Ballard, just like Fisher's mum.
He's no somebody you could say that maybe like a prince or something from royalty. He's just more a warrior.
He's a lord, but he's not really. Yeah, he's a warrior. Or maybe he said it in a proud way. Maybe you just chose to read it in a way that he's like, yeah, my grandfather built this. But I would say it's probably the fact that he didn't want to show so much wealth.
Yeah. But when they're walking is when they found Archer. Archer is the fire sprite. He's really happy to see Fisher, but at the beginning, he just even threw like a tray that he had with some cups. They just get smashed in the floor. And he's just like, oh no, oh no, oh no. Like he's looking at a ghost, and even he's looking at Cyrus and say, can you see her? Is he real? And so they're like, yeah, unfortunately he is.
Yeah. But interestingly, Ceres expects Fisher to like blow him off and be rude and like probably chastise him for dropping the tray. But Ceres notices a rune on the back of Kingfisher's neck or
Yes.
on the top of his back. He says his skin was pale, she says. His skin was pale apart from a single stark black rune visible between the base of his skull and his shirt collar. It was complex, all interlocking fine lines, loops and curls. Most of the runes I'd seen on the Fae had been ugly looking things, but this ... And then he looks up at Archer and the rune vanishes. And then all of a sudden he is like, don't worry about it.
He gives it a
he gives him a
hug. He's
hug.
happy. He's smiling.
He even sets fire to his shirt because
Yeah.
he's hugging a fire sprite. So what is this rune?
Yes, I noticed as well when I was reading this, and my first thought was that must be like a rune to cut the feelings. Maybe he doesn't want to feel anything.
A
and that's why.
masking. So you're feeling masking rune.
Yes, and that's why he is always so cold, so distant, because maybe when it's no warning, he just gets so, deep and everything is happening, and that's when he suffers the most. So he wants to maybe have like a break.
But how does he control that himself? Like, I see what you mean. Because reading that bit does think he goes from someone that's really cold to someone that is really warm and kind and family orientated.
Yeah.
And that happens when the rune disappears.
Yeah, but I'm sure if a people can do something like that, they will do it. If maybe they are in like a really stressful meeting and then start to feel attack and then start to feel the stress, the one you like maybe just disconnect and don't give a shit about anything and just even being rude because you don't
That
care.
would be really sad. I don't feel like that at my work. I think you have to be like able to be yourself. And if somebody like, yeah, you've got to be able to not take everything personally. I get that. But
yeah, it's more like when you're
shouldn't
feeling
mask-
attacked
yeah.
or something like this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you might be feeling sad, down, even cry in front of everyone there when you're feeling like, ugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems that this rune is just making Fisher the red flag walking. When he's not wearing this rune, it's just himself. But there's no reference about this appears again, isn't it?
No, I don't think so. But then I have to say this is the first time I've noticed it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be on Fisher Rune Watch. Although he does have a lot of tattoos.
Yeah.
And just this bit is like pale. His tattoos do move as well.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's something to do with that. Is it something that the gods are like helping him with? I don't know. What is this magic? What is this magic? What's that from? Oh, it's Quirrell. When he's Professor Quirrell.
Magic.
What is this magic?
There you go, Harry Potter reference. It's been a while.
I'm going to start saying that every time I don't understand something in a fantasy book. What is this magic?
But Archer leaves and Fisher takes Cyrus to the forge, and she even said that this one is even bigger than the one in the Winter Palace. She thought the Winter Palace has a really good one. Even Elroy will be like in heaven and that one, but this one is even bigger and better. And then she realized that it's not possible that this could be in this room because they were like in a not very big hole, and then when they go inside, the ceiling was really tall or really high. So she said it's not possible that this could be in this room. And it's when Fisher just say magic. Simple as that.
Yeah, but it's Ren's magic.
Yes.
So we know Ren has like this light magic, don't we?
Yeah.
But we also know now that he can make portals and he can do them like extensions to people's houses.
Yes.
And it's like it sounds like a control of hazardous substances kind of thing. So they don't want all this explosive stuff actually next to the house. So they just link it up. So it seems like a health and safety precaution for the forge. So if you could have an extension to our house, like Ren's extension magic,
Yes.
What would you have?
I will put something like the playroom, and then it's just a door to go to Disney World or something, and then I can just send the kids there
Yeah, maybe.
so I can work.
On their own? Would you let your kids go to Disney World on their own?
Yeah,
What?
I'll be safe there. I trust them.
Maybe like a soft play or something. Disney World's a nightmare. Ugh. Sorry, I sound like such a fun person. Don't I? I'm thinking of Disneyland Paris, which is not the one. So mine's a bit more practical. I would have a cupboard in the kitchen where I could just go to the supermarket, even after hours, and just be like, leave the money on the till. I'm so honest. a garden, a greenhouse.
Yes.
Because we can't fit a massive greenhouse in our garden because we have such an awkward shaped garden. It'd be really good to have a massive, like one of those like big polytunnel greenhouses. We could grow all the food. We wouldn't need a supermarket then. It's only short distances, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can't like go to Spain. Can't go to visit your parents.
Oh, so I can go to Disney World then.
Oh no, yeah, Disney World fail.
Damn
It's not canon. Can't work. Thank God for that.
it.
Thank gods. Thank all 7 of them.
I will as well, like for the people here in UK, if I need something, open the door and I have like, I don't know, B&Q store or something.
A DIY store.
DIY store, yeah.
Would you actually finish the jobs in the house then?
Maybe if I had
Maybe
the right
that's
equipment.
it. So the journey to the DIY store is what's stopping
If I
you.
had the right equipment and the people that know how to do it, I can bring them to that.
Can you just come and have a look at this? I don't know what I need. Can you come and have a look? Maybe.
Yes. So here is when Fisher shows a couple of things to Cyrus. Between all of them, there's a crucible. They had lots and lots of rings. And he said there's around, I think it's 1,800 and just in that one, but there's way more.
There's like 8 of them.
Yes. Then she started to say then like, oh my gosh, why all these rings? What are you doing with all of this? And then when he started to explain that every single ring belongs to the family or every single one of the warriors that he has. And she's going to make relics with every single one of them.
15,000 of them. I have a question. Well, I have 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, how are they going to locate the owners of all of these rings when they're in just a big jumble of boxes? Question number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 2, if they are that important to the warriors and they are that special, because that's what's needed. You need something special for it to work well, which means the necklace that Kingfisher is wearing is incredibly special to him because it's the strongest known one. So this is the clue here that is a very special necklace. Why would these 15,000 warriors just let Kingfisher store them in this cruddy old box in a forge?
Just waiting for the alchemists to arrive and start working.
Yeah, the alchemists that haven't been seen. In fact, it became a myth that the alchemists were actually a thing.
Yeah.
Because it's just been forgotten. So, what's the deal with that?
Yeah, I don't know if maybe when they start doing it, there were maybe some alchemists, but they happened some long time ago. They just stayed there and they were like forgotten.
No wonder everyone's so pissed off with Kingfisher when he goes back to the war camp.
Where's my ring?
Where's my ring? What's my family heirloom?
Yeah.
You
Couldn't get
probably
married.
sold it.
Had no ring.
They probably thought he sold it all and ran away.
Yeah.
Dania thinks that.
Yeah. He sold it on Evelia.
eBay.
Evelia. But yes, so Cyrus is like, what the fuck, 15,000 relics. How can I do that when I don't even know how long it's going to take me to learn how to do it? It could take me weeks. It can take me months. And Fisher just as man, so you better start working now.
Yes. I would like to, before we finish this chapter, I would like to talk a bit about the forge.
Mm-hmm.
So, number one, the forge is already like kind of functional. There's already a fire there.
Yeah.
Like, did Kingfisher go there? He must have gone there before and done his tidy up thing. Because you can't, I wouldn't say that it was like operational. He might have gone and done his tidy up and then come to get her. If it was operational, why? Who was working in there? Maybe they still have to forge metal. They still have to forge weapons.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what they were doing. But there is also a forge at the war camp because we know that it's like halfway up the hill. And then the second thing, which I thought was really cool, was the tree in the courtyard. So outside the forge, there was this like walled courtyard. And there's a tree there. It stands alone and it's the only one in the whole place that doesn't have any leaves on. It's not evergreen.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that it's winter. Is the tree dead? Will the leaves ever come back? Because it is a wintry place. There's always snow. And she notices over the wall in the distance, there's loads of trees, like where the mountains are, and they're all evergreen. So they've got leaves on them. It was a stark contrast for me, or not stark. It was such a like contrast and to the other trees, the fact that it has no leaves. It made me think of the tree in the garden of the gods, in Zorith's garden, that connects all the
realms.
All the realms. And that is Zorith's garden, isn't it? So there's a tree there.
Yeah.
And all the leaves are different worlds. And it's his garden and his twins are there. It doesn't seem like the other gods are there.
Yeah.
The question is, do the other gods also have these trees? And because they're active gods, do they all have leaves on? Did that tree once hold the secret to like a load of universes? Is it basically a dead version of the tree that is in Zorith's garden?
Yeah.
And then it talks about my grandfather. It talks about building this place. Did he build this place around this tree? Was his grandfather a god? Was his grandfather Styx, for example? Because I'm obsessed with this god of shadows. This tree, there's something about this tree, and it's linked to the tree in the garden of the god of chaos. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely something curious about it. I don't know if I take it like there's a specific link. This tree maybe is kind of like something to tell to the gods what's going on and this place, something to make sure that everything we
Like a surveillance
feature,
network.
is under control. Something like the symbol or something from the gods. But it could be as well maybe something the fisher will use as well to talk to the gods, kind of like in the Bible when Moses was talking to God through a tree that was in flames or was in fire. So I don't know if we will see something like this. Maybe Fisher goes out and start to talk to the gods through this tree.
Well, I wonder if maybe this is the tree that, like, maybe when Kingfisher was 6, there was Quicksilver here. And this is the pool that he was pulled through. Because you'd think that Kalish would have a pool of Quicksilver. Maybe it was here. Maybe because Kingfisher resisted so badly and he was in a rage, wasn't he? When he was in a rage. Could he have destroyed the tree already? Like, there's something to do with this tree.
Yeah, some story behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, on the first read, I didn't even notice it. And then I've read this book so many times, and only now am I thinking that this tree is so important.
There's a meaning there.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely agree. Okay, so with this, we end the chapter 17.
Oh, wait, that was quick.
That's what she said.
Oh, dear. So, shall we open the pages of Adina's sketchbook?
Okay.
This is the part of the show where we channel our inner eye as Mummy Kingfisher would and put our oracle skills to the test in the hope that we get at least something right for Brimstone. So what's your favourite theory this week?
For me, I'm going to say there's something dodgy about Kingfisher family tree. So not this physical tree, family tree. So the great grandfather did maybe something the Fisher is not proud about it, and just because it's part of the family, he has to live with that. But I think there's more like a background story from Kingfisher family, and we will see that obviously in the next books.
Interesting. So my favorite theory is the tree, that there's
A
a link.
connection,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
there,
So
yeah.
again, it's probably something to do with Kingfisher's family tree. The literally a family tree. I think that it was built around, the house was built around this tree, and it is another like portal to other worlds.
Yeah.
But it's currently out of service. I think, though, an honourable mention does need to go to the fact that I do believe that Hayden is more important than we know.
Yeah, there's something going on about him as well. Yeah,
There's something
strange.
about Hayden.
Yes.
So sticking with the theme of precognition, shall we look at the chapters that we're going to cover next week?
Sure. So next week we'll come in just with 2 chapters.
They're long ones, though.
Yes. So it's going to be chapter 18, Crucible, then chapter 19, Bones and All.
It feels like a light week with 2 chapters, but there's quite a bit to say in here.
We are just preparing these chapters according with the time they it takes to
read
prepare
them,
all
yeah.
of them. So yeah, it's going to be two chapters, but we're going to be packed a lot of stuff to talk about it.
Okay, should we do questions from the Quicksilver?
Okay, what we got?
This is the part of the show where we listen hard to the whispers of the Quicksilver and dig deep into our souls for the answer. Last week, we asked, talking about Onyx, if your spirit came back to possess an animal, what would it be?
I think for me, it's definitely gonna be like a kind of bird. I really don't mind what kind of bird. It could be a big one or little one, but something that make me feel just, I don't know, free, flying. All of that. I want that feeling, just be in the sky, looking like everything.
Would you fly if you could?
Oh yeah.
Maybe you're supposed to be a bat boy. You're supposed to be an Illyrian warrior.
A bat boy.
Bat, yeah. Bat boys for life. Bat boys with a Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a cool one.
What about you?
Probably something that hibernates.
I believe it.
Like a grizzly bear. A grizzly bear. I could just cozy up with my book in my tree.
What is the other one? There's like
Maybe hedgehog.
a marmot. Marmot.
I think I'd be a bear. I could be cuddly or I could be fierce. And I could hibernate with my book.
Yeah, boy, just sleeping, not reading.
Well, I think that's like grizzly bear
official
PR. Yeah, they're definitely reading their books. I'm always like, I'm going to bed and like spend all night reading.
Okay.
Right, this week. If someone made you swear a magical oath where you obey them no matter what, this has to be above board. What's the worst possible mundane task that they could give you?
Okay. Interesting one.
Like, think around the house or like,
Ironing or
or like work or, things like
Yeah.
editing podcasts. Anyway, we should.
yeah.
Yeah, what's the worst
Putting
possible?
the washing away.
Yeah, we're not supposed to answer it now. We're supposed to answer it next week.
Okay.
So that's all for this week. If you made it to the end, thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Faithfully Fantasy Pod. Come and join the conversation. We'd love to hear your theories. So if you've got one, send it our way. We always give credit on the show and on socials.
And with this, we have just one more thing to say. Thank you for listening to Faithfully Fantasy.
The husband and wife podcast talking all things Quicksilver.
We'll see you next week for our deep dive to chapters 18 to 19. And of course, for more Faithfully Fantasy.
Bye.